G'day everyone. I just went up and got some groceries, and I've known this for a little while, and I teach this out a lot in Wellness Wednesday when we run that session once a month. But you know, I thought it might be prudent just to get it out in the world and just really sort of have a chat to everybody about what it is they're eating, whether or not they understand how to prep their food. And we're talking today about washing their food, not necessarily prepping as in prepping your food to eat, although this is going to be eaten anyway. But for most people, and I remember as a kid or even as a parent, you have your kids in the shopping trolley, you're walking around the grocery store, and they're just carrying on as usual, just as kids do, and you kind of just like pick up a bag of grapes, you throw them in the shopping trolley, and then what you tend to do is just feed them the grapes as you're walking around the shops, just to keep them quiet in the shopping trolley, right? A lot of people don't know this, but there's some pretty harmful chemicals in there, and people wonder these days why it is that we have all these allergies to things. Look, I'm not going to expand too much on it now. I'd love for people to be able to come and have a chat to me one-on-one if it's something that they want to have a chat more about in detail. But what a lot of people don't realise is when you pick up these bags of grapes, and these are just ones that I just picked up at Woolies, they got a little warning there, and it's pretty hard to see that warning. They've actually made it even more difficult than the last time that I actually picked up one of these things. So what I've done is grab a piece of paper and shove it into the bag, and then have a read of that. Can you read that? Even then, that's pretty hard to read. So that says grapes may have been in contact with sulfur dioxide. Okay? So let me make this clear to you guys. That's what is sprayed on the grapes. I've got the grapes here. And we're putting that straight into our mouths, straight into our children's mouths. And obviously that's what they're getting into their system. So, quite often people ask why people have allergies to stuff. I remember as a kid, you were lucky if in the whole class you had one kid on an EpiPen. And I don't even believe I ever remember them even being any kids on it. But now, I take my kids to class, and you've got probably a classroom full of like 27 to 30 kids, and there's probably at least 15 that have a need for an EpiPen, and they've got some sort of allergy to something, whether it's nuts or some sort of chemical or whatever it is. And guys, the reality of it is this: that's coming about because of this stuff that we're putting in our mouth, and we're not even realizing it's there. So one of the things I educate out quite often is the fact that when you bring your stuff home, especially the fruits that you do eat with the skin on, so things like nectarines, apples, pears, grapes, not things like bananas, oranges, because you're not going to eat the actual peel. You need to wash it. And quite often I get people to raise their hand at Wellness Wednesday, and I say to them, how many people wash their fruit with water? And you get maybe 50% if you're lucky that have their hand up. And then from that I say to them, keep their hands up. Who now washes those people? Do they also wash it with vinegar? And most people put their hands down. You might be lucky if you have one or two people that wash it with vinegar. What does vinegar do? Well, even this is not guaranteed to get it all off, but let me tell you, washing it with water is just a waste of time. You're really not going to get much off it, especially these types of chemicals. And so what I educate people on is being able to wash your fruit so it gets the majority of this stuff off. And it's just a simple method. So, guys, white vinegar, cheap stuff, like literally a whole 2-litre jug cost me $1.20. And so what I do, and I'll see if I can spin this around, give me 2 seconds. A lot of people are like, I haven't got no time to prep food and stuff like that. I peel all the grapes straight off like this, because then it makes it easier for me to store it in a container, and then the kids can literally just, basically just put it into their lunch boxes. So it saves me time instead of me rushing them around trying to pull it off in the morning on a weekday or on a weekly basis. But basically, all I do is just give it a good douse of bloody vinegar. I mean, like I said, it's like literally you're talking about $1.20, guys. Don't be too afraid to use it. And you can see that coating that's on there, and it's on most of our fruit and veg these days, unfortunately. But I just fill that up. Now, literally, guys, I will leave that sitting there. I'll go and pack the rest of my groceries away. I did this already, but I thought I'd better just show you this particular one. But, I've done it with my pears and my nectarines and my cucumber and my capsicums. I've done it with like most of my things, and I've already stored it away into my fridge. But I thought I'd better just show you this because of that warning sign that's on there. It's just sad that this is what's happening, and we don't really understand or know, or we're just too busy. And I say this all the time, we get caught up being busy in life. You don't have a chance to focus and think about these little things. And people go, oh yeah, but you just sit there and picked all those things out. I'm like, well, it's better than doing it now in one hit and then storing them in a container than it is to do it on a daily basis when you're trying to rush the kids out the door for school. So, honestly, guys, for the sake of literally that would have taken me 5 minutes, and then leaving it there for about 10-15 minutes, go and do something else, come back, rinse them off and chuck them in a container. You're not going to be putting that chemical in your mouth, and you're not going to be putting those chemicals in your children's mouth, okay? So just be aware of that. I'll post in the comments the pictures of that, and we'll see how we go. Let's see if we can educate people on a daily basis to get better nutrition and also better, the actual nutrients in there rather than getting the chemicals in there as well. Have a good afternoon. Ciao for now.